Good afternoon. My name is Karen Mattoon, and my historical philosophical analysis will be on the philosopher John Dewey, then the role of democracy on education and the interaction of the environment on learning. John Dewey was a famous American philosopher and educator known as the leader of the progressive movement. He was born in a small town in Vermont and had a very close-knit community and a sense of togetherness. America was changing rapidly, however, to a very urban and industrialized nation. He witnessed the vast westward expansion and the rugged sense of individualism by the pioneers. The adaptable, flexible, and innovative pioneers captured him. He questioned these changes. He was also influenced by Darwin's theory of evolution, and in his adult years was in the progressive movement and the need for educational reform. His thoughts and ideas and tenets were closely aligned to the philosophy of pragmatism. He denied the absolute truths for a fluid, changing ideas and theories. He went from a fixed world of very traditional education to a world that was adaptable and flexible in continual change. He adopted the concept of change, which became a key tenet in his philosophy. He dismissed the traditional compartmentalized curriculum of education, adopting a theory of experience based on active learning, one of an interaction and experience between man and environment, and called this experience learning by doing. The intelligence was in a continual process of change by restructuring and reorganization. Experience took place in a free and open and democratic society and was the interaction between individuals, groups, and organizations. This was an intellectual exchange that were free-flowing, where people could find connections and correlations between ideas, and this happening helped to restructure intelligence, which created intellectual growth. His theory to practice, he really restructured traditional education. He went into from a very traditional, teacher-oriented, whole group teaching to practical applications, human interaction and experience and collaboration with others in this free and open democratic society, connecting and relating sometimes very opposing ideas, and it was a learning by doing with intelligent thought. Now, he considered certainly the needs of the child of being first, that active engagement, the hands-on, the project-based learning that was able to be taught and learned by all people in all disciplines. There was, however, a balance between the teacher and the student-directed learning. The educator still had a role to promote learning. The interconnectedness of the school and community were still incredibly important to Dewey. His perspective on diversity in this open and democratic society was that all people should be educated. He discounted the innate intelligence that other philosophers believed in. He believed that given the right environment, all people could improve and they could develop into citizens that could solve problems, and that society had a responsibility to educate all individuals. Now, there were certainly some critical analysis about Dewey. Some scholars thought that this experience and experimentalism belittled the moral values of education, and in opposition to biblical truths, for Dewey, biblical moral conduct was developed through interactions with people, and moral commitment was to the community and not to God. And the self-fulfillment and the satisfaction of life was gained through experiences. He centered education on the natural sciences, not on arts and literature, and some scholars felt that this really was wrong because therefore the biblical stories and the biblical arts were never considered in education. In conclusion, Dewey certainly changed the landscape of modern education. Believing that learning by doing would build intelligence, he aligned education to the needs of the child. He looked at the problem solving, the hands-on learning, and active engagement in order to build our 21st century citizens. I thank you for your attention, and I would enjoy any comments you have on this video.